In the previous episode, Wang Lin asserted his dominance as commander of the Black Armor Army. With a single, ruthless display of power, he crushed internal rebellion and left the entire camp trembling. From that day forward, his authority was unquestioned. Even Sima Yan, once proud and defiant, silently submitted. Meanwhile, in another camp, Yao Shishui struggled to break through a deadly ancient restriction that had taken her life 4 times already. Each failure consumed one of her rare blood soul pills, precious creations of her father. Desperate and frustrated, she realized she needed help, someone strong enough to endure the danger. Her mind turned to one man within ancient Demon City, Wang Lin. In the vast and eerie land of ancient Demon City, a calm but dangerous silence lingered. Among the few human cultivators stationed there, one woman, Yao Shishui, sat in deep thought. Besides herself, there were only 2 other cultivators in the city. One was too weak to matter, and the other was Wang Lin, a man whose calm eyes hid terrifying strength. He had withstood the 7th strike of a demon general, something few could even imagine surviving. Yao Shishui frowned slightly. She knew she needed his power. But Wang Lin was not an easy man to deal with. His personality was cold and detached, a man who moved only when something truly benefited him. Without an enticing reward, there was little chance he would help. After a moment's thought, she waved her hand, and a shimmer of white light wrapped around her bare form, transforming into a flowing white dress. Her expression softened into one of determination. Time passed quietly. Within the Black Armor Army camp, Wang Lin sat in his cultivation chamber, completely focused on absorbing demonic spiritual energy. Over 500 demon soldiers and even regiment leader Sun had fallen to fuel his power. Inside his body, the demonic crystal he cultivated finally surpassed the 1000 rank threshold, glowing with condensed demonic essence. The higher its rank, the faster his cultivation advanced, and now, Wang Lin's progress was several times greater than before. He ignored all military matters, devoting every breath to absorbing and refining demonic energy, preparing to break through to the late stage of soul transformation. Then one day, as he meditated in silence, his eyes suddenly opened. A soft, mist-like voice echoed directly into his origin soul. "Fellow cultivator Wang, tonight at midnight, meet me on the ancient mountain 1,000 kilometers from the army camp." Yao Shishui. Wang Lin listened quietly, then closed his eyes again, showing no reaction. At midnight, on the lonely ancient mountain, Yao Shishui waited under the moonlight. Dressed in white, she stood alone at the summit. The night faded, and the first light of dawn crept across the horizon, yet Wang Lin never appeared. Her eyes turned cold. With an icy snort, her body turned into a streak of white light as she shot toward the Black Armor Army camp. When she arrived, her presence stirred the entire camp. Soldiers training below stopped to look as their commander, cold, beautiful, and radiating killing intent, descended directly toward Wang Lin's pagoda. Outside, 13, Wang Lin's loyal guard, rose to block her path. "Incomer, stop," he barked. But Yao Shishui didn't even glance his way. Her hand flicked, and a wave of blood-red light enveloped 13 like a bloody cocoon. His body froze mid-step, locked in place like a statue. Demon soldiers surged forward, ready to protect their commander. The regiment leaders shouted warnings. But Yao Shishui's expression remained cold as ice. With a sweep of her hand, a circle of crimson light expanded outward, sealing off the space around her. "I have private matters with your commander Wang. Don't interfere." Then she stepped into the pagoda. Inside, the air was heavy and dark. As soon as she entered, a gentle breeze seemed to pass through the building. The faint wind brushed against her, and instantly the blood-colored glow around her flickered, then vanished, dispelled by a hidden power. Outside, 13 trembled as life returned to his body. A quiet voice, Wang Lin's, entered his mind, calming him. Without hesitation, 13 sat back down, ignoring the intruder. From the shadows came Wang Lin's cold voice. "Fellow cultivator Yao truly has a bad temper." Still fuming, Yao Shishui replied sharply, "My anger can't compare to fellow cultivator Wang's arrogance." She strode forward, pushing open the door to the inner chamber. Light poured into the darkness. There, sitting cross-legged, was Wang Lin, his face hidden in shadow, his presence calm yet heavy as a mountain. "Since you've entered," he said evenly, "if you have nothing that interests me, don't expect me to entertain you." Yao Shishui's anger softened slightly. She bowed. "It was reckless of me earlier. I hope fellow cultivator Wang will not take offense. I came here seeking your help." "What is it?" Wang Lin asked coldly. She sealed the door behind her, surrounding the pagoda with a crimson barrier. "This matter is extremely secretive. I can't allow others to hear." Wang Lin's tone was flat. "No problem." Then Yao Shishui explained, there was a powerful restriction. One she could not break on her own. If Wang Lin aided her, she promised a great reward. But Wang Lin shook his head. "I have more important matters to attend to. I can't help you." He had no reason to involve himself, and her words were vague, concealing more than they revealed. Still, Yao Shishui persisted, her voice softened, persuasive. "Fellow cultivator Wang's current stage requires immense amounts of celestial jade to advance. To reach the ascendant stage, the cost is unimaginable. I can provide you with what you need, enough celestial jades for your cultivation." At this, Wang Lin's eyes slowly opened. In the darkness, his gaze met hers, cold, sharp, and thoughtful. "How many can you provide?" She smiled faintly, sensing his interest. "Enough for you to reach the early stage of ascendant." That promise caught his attention. Celestial jade was indeed what he lacked most, though he possessed enough to reach the late stage of soul transformation. He dared not use it all. Without reserves, he would be left defenseless if injured or depleted during his 500 years in this demonic land. He had planned to rely on demonic energy first, saving his celestial jades for last, and later, he would plunder others for more if needed. Seeing him hesitate, Yao Shishui pressed on. "If you agree, I can give you enough celestial jades now to reach the late stage of soul transformation. Once we return, I will provide the rest." Wang Lin pondered deeply. Then he asked, "What kind of restriction is it?" Yao Shishui replied, "It's a rotating wheel restriction with 18 seals. I can only reach the 11th one. With your strength, I believe we can break them all." She hid the most dangerous truth, that failure meant death. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. "Where is this restriction located?" She hesitated. "I can't say more until you agree. But I can tell you. Only I possess the treasure needed to enter." Silence filled the pagoda. Wang Lin's expression remained unreadable. His mind was clear, she was concealing too much. But the offer was tempting. With those celestial jades, he could strengthen himself immensely. Still, he would not rush. At last, he spoke calmly. "I must take some time to consider. I'll give you my answer 4 months from now." Yao Shishui's brows furrowed in frustration. She had already offered Wang Lin more than enough, her sincerity, an immense reward, even her patience. Yet, this man remained unmoved, calm as ever, delaying his answer again and again. She knew that without his help, she would have to wait until she reached the ascendant stage before she could break the mysterious restriction she sought to overcome. That could take years, perhaps centuries. Comprehending the heavens was uncertain. Enlightenment might come tomorrow or never at all. But there was no one else she could trust. She couldn't reveal this secret place to others, or it would trigger a calamity that even she couldn't control. The more she thought about it, the more she knew Wang Lin was the only suitable candidate. The memory of him standing against the demon general, his demonic form radiating terrifying power, convinced her even more. He was the key. Still, his silence tested her patience. Her tone turned colder as she stared at him and said sharply, "What more do you want? More celestial jades? Treasures? Spells?" Wang Lin didn't react to her irritation. His voice was calm, steady. "I don't care about treasures or spells. Converting them into celestial jades would be best." Her eyes narrowed, contempt flickering in her heart. "Fine. My father's blood cave holds many celestial jades. I'll give you a token. Once you leave the demon spirit land, you can go fetch them yourself." Wang Lin nodded slightly. "That's acceptable, but this matter is dangerous. I still need to consider it." Yao Shishui's patience finally snapped. How long do you need to consider? About 3 months, Wang Lin replied evenly. Her face darkened. You. With a cold snort, she flicked her sleeve, and the door burst open. She turned to leave, anger written across her features. Behind her, Wang Lin said quietly, I won't see you off. She had already stepped halfway out when she stopped. Her hands clenched. Taking a deep breath, she turned back and pulled out something from her bag of holding, a small wax-covered pill. Her expression was indifferent as she held it up. I'll give you this. If you agree, depart with me in 3 days. If not, forget this matter entirely. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. The pill looked unremarkable, plain, yet the closer he looked, the more he noticed. Across its surface, rows of minute symbols were carved, flickering faintly, pulsing in rhythm with Yao Shishui's breathing and heartbeat. His tone deepened. What is this? Yao Shishui gave a cold, mocking look. You don't even know? Well, that's expected of someone who only recently became the All-Seer's disciple. This is something unique to my father, the blood ancestor. It's called the blood soul pill. Wang Lin's heart stirred. The name alone carried power. Though he remained expressionless, he understood from her tone that this was no ordinary treasure. Yao Shishui continued coldly. This pill isn't for consumption. It's used to leave your origin soul and flesh imprint within it, creating a link between you and the pill. Even if your origin soul is destroyed, you can still reincarnate. To put it simply, it can die once in your place. For the first time, Wang Lin's expression changed. He reached out and drew the pill toward him with a wave of his hand. It flew into his palm. Yao Shishui didn't stop him. She had expected this reaction. But in her heart, she sneered. What she had given him was not a true blood soul pill, but a failed version, one her father had deliberately created to mislead and protect the real ones. This fake pill still looked and behaved like the real thing, but hidden inside were impurities and poisons that made it worthless. Even dangerous. Only the blood ancestor and his daughter could tell them apart. Anyone foolish enough to trust in it would be doomed. As Wang Lin examined the pill, he noticed how its flickering light now matched his heartbeat instead of hers. The bond adjusted instantly, making the pill feel like a living part of his body. He took a deep breath and said seriously, Give me the celestial jades. Without hesitation, Yao Shishui tossed him a bag of holding. This is enough for you to reach the late stage of soul transformation. I'll give you the rest when we return. 3 days from now, meet me at the ancient mountain. At midnight. Wang Lin paused, then slowly nodded. I will. Yao Shishui smiled faintly and turned to leave. She didn't fear him betraying her, she had her reasons. The celestial jades meant little to her. And the pill, whether real or fake, was of no concern. After she left, Wang Lin's eyes lingered on the horizon. Then he looked down at the pill. Deep in thought. She's not even afraid I'll take the treasures and run. That means she has some hidden assurance. She doesn't care about the celestial jades at all. To be able to give away so much. Her father, the blood ancestor, must possess unimaginable wealth. But this blood soul pill, something feels off. If it truly works as she claims, it must be incredibly rare. No one would give away something this valuable so easily. Unless there's a trap. A faint smile formed on his lips. Yao Shishui, your confidence betrays you. You're too calm. That tells me this pill is not what it seems. He reached into his bag of holding and drew out a black soul flag. With a wave, he commanded, Sao Yidu. From the flag, a swirl of black mist appeared, condensing into the form of a man, his loyal soul servant. Greetings, Master, the spirit said respectfully. Wang Lin wasted no time. Do you know of the blood ancestor? The ghost's expression changed instantly, fear and awe flashing in his eyes. The blood ancestor. Every cultivator on planet Tien Yun knows that name. It's said he challenged the All-Seer 7 times. Though he lost each time, his cultivation grew stronger with every defeat. He's rumored to be the 3rd strongest cultivator on the planet, below only the All-Seer and Ling Tianao. Wang Lin's eyes flickered. And the blood soul pill? The ghost gasped. The blood soul pill, Master. That pill is one of the top 3 treasures on all of planet Tien Yun. It can defy the heavens, allowing a cultivator to revive after death. Only the blood ancestor possesses them. No one else knows how they're made. Silently, Wang Lin opened his hand, revealing the wax-coated pill. Its faint light pulsed steadily. The ghost's eyes widened in shock. Made from white lizard beast wax. Engraved with over 3,000 symbols, and it beats in rhythm with your breath, master. That's it, that's the blood soul pill. Wang Lin nodded, his gaze cold. The ghost swallowed and said eagerly, "Drop a bit of blood on it, master." After a pause, Wang Lin pricked his finger. A single drop of blood fell onto the pill, and a blue light flared briefly, shining for 3 breaths before fading away. The ghost's voice trembled. "The blue glow, that confirms it, it's real, master. A true blood soul pill." But Wang Lin only frowned. The ghost's eyes gleamed with greed, his soul trembling with desire. Wang Lin's expression darkened. With a cold snort, he released a wave of spiritual pressure that pierced into the ghost's soul, snapping him back to clarity. "Tell me," Wang Lin said evenly, "with your strength, were you ranked high in your sect?" "No, master," the ghost said bitterly. "If I were, I wouldn't have been sent away to possess a body on planet Suzaku." "Then how do you know so much, even how to tell a real blood soul pill from a fake?" The ghost hesitated, then smiled weakly. "Master, that knowledge is common on planet Tien Yun. Everyone knows the signs." Wang Lin dismissed him with a wave, sending the soul back into the flag. He looked again at the pill in his hand, his eyes thoughtful and sharp. If it's truly so precious, why would the method to identify it be public knowledge? Unless it was made that way on purpose. He let out a faint, cold laugh. "Blood ancestor, no wonder you're called an old monster. You've disguised your treasure perfectly. You made everyone believe they can identify the real from the fake, when in truth, none of them can." Wang Lin sat in silence after Yao Shishui's departure, his mind sharp and calculating. The pieces were coming together. The more he thought about it, the more everything pointed to one conclusion: the blood soul pill Yao Shishui had given him was fake. Cao Yidu's words confirmed it. For someone of such low status to know the method of identifying the blood soul pill, and even claiming that almost every cultivator knew it, that was already suspicious. A treasure capable of reviving someone from death could never have its secrets spread so casually. It could only mean that the blood ancestor had deliberately released false information, crafting a perfect deception to protect his real pills and mislead everyone else. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with cold understanding. "So, this is a trap," he thought. A fake blood soul pill would not save its owner, it would destroy him. His fingers tightened around the wax pill, ready to crush it, but then, his expression shifted. Instead, he tucked it away inside his bag of holding. A trap it might be, but even a trap had its uses. He remembered the words of those who once described him: ruthless, bold, decisive, cold, yet cunning as a fox. That nature, forged through countless battles and betrayals, was what had kept him alive all this time. And now, it was what allowed him to see through the blood ancestor's game with such clarity. Turning his attention to the bag of celestial jades Yao Shishui had left, Wang Lin examined them with his divine sense. Indeed, the quantity was vast, enough for him to push his cultivation to the late stage of soul transformation. He did not hesitate. Pressing his hand to the ground, his body sank into the earth and vanished. Deep underground, he sat cross-legged, surrounded by a mountain of celestial jades. He began absorbing them at full speed, the flow of celestial spiritual energy swirling around him like a storm. Jade after jade turned into dust as he drew in their power, his aura growing heavier and more profound with every breath. Wang Lin did not waste time trying to refine all of the energy into his body. Instead, he condensed it, shaping it into a solid core, an imitation of the demon crystal he had once studied at the soul refining tribe. If demonic energy could be crystallized, then so could celestial energy. And now, he had enough resources to attempt it. Days passed in silent focus. The dense aura of celestial energy gathered and hardened, until finally, a small, Radiant crystal formed within him, shimmering with a pure, divine light. This was the celestial crystal, a condensed core of heavenly energy, its strength comparable to the demon crystal itself. But what he held now was only the beginning, a fraction of the potential that lay within. When 3 days had passed, the time of the purple demon's rise came once more. On a distant mountain bathed in violet light, Yao Shishui stood waiting, her expression slightly anxious, the purple radiance reflected in her eyes. Sharp and impatient. Could he have changed his mind? She murmured. Before the thought could settle, a streak of white light shot across the sky and landed before her. Wang Lin appeared, calm and composed, his white robes fluttering in the wind. You're right on time, Yao Shishui said coldly. Now, I'll open the formation. No one must detect what happens here. She drew out 7 blood-colored statues, small carvings of ferocious beasts, glowing faintly with a sinister aura. With precise hand seals and a chant, she spat out a drop of blood, forming a blood-red symbol that sank into the earth. The statues moved into position on their own, each sinking into the ground. A strange ripple spread across the mountain. The air trembled as an invisible barrier enveloped them. Wang Lin extended his divine sense, but to his surprise, it vanished. He could no longer sense himself at all, as if his very existence had been erased. Yao Shishui noticed his reaction and said coldly, "There's no need to test it. Unless someone possesses the power of a demon general, no one will find us." Wang Lin nodded slightly. This formation was extraordinary, seamless and hidden. A true masterpiece. Your father's work, no doubt, he said. That's correct, she replied, taking out a blood-colored compass and placing it on the ground. Remember what I told you. When the purple light reaches its peak, the compass will release a ray of blood-colored light. It will only last for 1 breath. Follow me without hesitation, or you'll miss the chance. Wang Lin said nothing, only gave a small nod. The purple moon above reached its zenith, flooding the world with its eerie light. The mountains, the ground, everything was bathed in violet. Then, from the compass, a narrow beam of blood-red light burst forth, piercing through the purple haze like a blade. Let's go, Yao Shishui shouted and stepped into the light. Without a word, Wang Lin followed, his body flashing like lightning. The two vanished as the crimson glow faded, leaving no trace behind. Moments later, the purple light dimmed, the rise of the purple demon ended, and the night returned to silence. When the world reformed around him, Wang Lin immediately recognized the sensation, a pinpoint transfer array. He had traveled through such formations many times before, and he instantly understood. Someone had set a fixed teleportation point at their destination. Only those within the demon spirit land could use it. When the transfer ended, Wang Lin opened his eyes to see a space filled with faint, floating light. There was no sky or ground, only brightness. Endless and ethereal. Beneath his feet stretched a narrow, winding path, glowing faintly as it drifted like a living creature. Yao Shishui recovered shortly after and sat cross-legged. This is the entrance to the path of the revered beast, she said. Meditate and comprehend your domain. Only by obtaining the qualification mark can you walk this path. Then she closed her eyes and began cultivating. Wang Lin remained standing, observing quietly. The path ahead twisted and shimmered like scales under light. And then, realization struck him. This was no mere road. It was a colossal body. The body of an ancient, dragon-like beast. His breath caught. So this is the revered beast, he murmured. There's no memory of such a creature even in the inheritance of the ancient god 2C. Could it have appeared after him? Or, was it sealed here by someone powerful beyond imagination? The thought sent chills through him. He turned his gaze toward Yao Shishui, a calculating glint in his eyes. I'll need to find a way to make her tell me everything about this place, he thought. Calming himself, Wang Lin sat down, preparing to enter his domain. But just as his consciousness began to sink inward, a strange, foreign thought suddenly echoed in his mind. Wang Lin stood quietly within the mysterious demon spirit land, his gaze sweeping across the vast stone platform beneath his feet. Rumors said this land had once been the cave of a celestial emperor. Perhaps, everything here had been created by that being's power. But such thoughts were fleeting. Wang Lin steadied his mind and began to meditate, sinking his consciousness deep into his domain of life and death. His left hand represented death, his right hand represented life, and between them flowed the endless river of eternity. Though he appeared calm, Wang Lin's vigilance never faltered. A portion of his divine sense constantly encircled his body, alert for any movement from Yao Shishui, who cultivated nearby. He knew she was just as cautious, so this was not the moment for either to make a move. As time passed, the illusory image of his life and death domain slowly manifested around him. Wang Lin entered a serene, ethereal state where every detail of his surroundings appeared crystal clear in his mind. Then, he sensed it. A mysterious, unseen power was descending from above, quietly gathering on the platform. That force did not approach him, but instead drifted toward Yao Shishui. It coiled around her body before condensing between her eyebrows. A moment later, a bright golden light burst from that spot, shining brilliantly before fading away. When Yao Shishui opened her eyes, Wang Lin was startled. Within her pupils glowed strange golden symbols, each composed of 3 intricate strokes. The moment he looked into those eyes, Wang Lin's heart trembled violently. It was as though thunder roared through his mind. The aura radiating from her was vast and majestic, so overwhelming that she seemed no longer a mortal cultivator but an untouchable immortal. Even the All-Seer himself had never caused Wang Lin's heart to waver like this. But Wang Lin's will was firm. He quickly realized that the oppressive might he felt did not come from Yao Shishui herself, but from the golden symbols in her eyes. Taking a deep breath, he suppressed his unease and turned his focus back to comprehending his domain. Yao Shishui, too, closed her eyes again, returning to her silent cultivation. Time flowed without measure. Then, once more, the mysterious power appeared, this time circling around Wang Lin. His consciousness drifted into a dreamlike trance, filled with indistinct figures and whispering voices that seemed to be speaking truths he could not yet grasp. The sensations were both real and illusory, pushing him to the edge of clarity. Just as the vision was about to fade completely, Wang Lin seized the moment. A brilliant life seal appeared on his forehead, the symbol of his celestial slaughter art. A soft, echoing voice whispered beside his ear, "My name is Qing Lin." The voice lasted only an instant before vanishing, but Wang Lin had captured it. He knew that his precise timing had made it possible. Had he acted even a breath earlier, he would have missed this revelation. When his eyes snapped open, dazzling golden light erupted from within them, lasting 6 full breaths before subsiding. And now, deep within his pupils, shone golden symbols far more complex than Yao Shishui's, each made up of 6 intricate strokes. Yao Shishui's expression turned grim. She had only obtained a 3-stroke symbol, yet Wang Lin had achieved 6, twice the number. When Wang Lin looked at her now, he no longer felt awe. Instead, he felt as though he was gazing down upon her from above, his aura naturally eclipsing hers. The moment their eyes met, the light within her symbols dimmed, as if a firefly's glow had been swallowed by the radiance of the moon. Calmly, Yao Shishui said, "With these golden symbols, we can walk the revered dragon path. Let's go." She stepped forward first, her figure moving swiftly along the massive stone bridge that wound through a boundless, starry abyss. One misstep meant falling into the endless void below, a thought that would terrify any mortal. Wang Lin followed behind, his mind still pondering the golden mark. What exactly are these symbols? He wondered as he pressed onward. Days passed as they traversed the twisting dragon path, which seemed endless. Finally, after 3 days without rest, a massive stone platform appeared ahead. At its center stood a tall statue, 30 feet high, shaped like a human but with enormous ears and long, powerful arms. Yao Shishui stopped and turned to him. "This is the first seal," she said coldly. "We'll each break 1 layer. I'll handle the first, you'll take the second." Wang Lin simply nodded. Without hesitation, Yao Shishui leapt into the air, landing upon the platform. The moment she touched down, golden light burst from her eyes, carrying the power of her golden symbols. The statue shuddered, exhaling a stream of white mist before its stone eyes snapped open. A fierce killing intent surged forth as it raised its foot and slammed it down, shaking the entire platform. Yao Shishui was unperturbed. Clearly, she had fought this guardian before. From her bag, she drew out a blood-red jade and shouted, "Seal!" The jade shattered into fragments, transforming into a dense red light that wrapped around the statue like a shroud. The giant struggled but could not move, the blood seal held firm. As she gracefully landed, Wang Lin silently observed, realizing that the statue's power was comparable to that of an early-stage soul transformation cultivator. Yet Yao Shishui had subdued it effortlessly. That jade must have been refined by her father, he thought. When he stepped onto the platform, he passed by the bound statue. For a brief instant, he caught sight of a faint golden flash beneath the red light. His expression remained calm, but his eyes sharpened, activating the life seal upon his forehead. He peered through the blood light, and there, hidden within the statue, was a golden symbol, but his thoughts lingered on the symbol he had just seen hidden within the statue. That mysterious golden mark. It was almost identical to the three-stroke symbol that glimmered in Yao Shishui's eyes. And it also resonated faintly with the six-stroke golden symbol within his own. As he walked, he slowly raised his hand. A faint golden light shimmered on his palm, and the six-stroke symbol appeared once again, burning gently like molten gold. This symbol, he murmured to himself, is the foundation? Whether it's Yao Shishui's 3 strokes, or my 6, they all originate from this. He waved his hand through the air, tracing the symbol with a strand of celestial spiritual energy. But the moment he finished, there was no response, no fluctuation of power, no resonance. The celestial energy in his body remained perfectly still. He pondered for a moment, then memorized every detail of the mark and let the thought fade away. His gaze lifted toward Yao Shishui's distant figure. A faint, calculating light flashed in his eyes. She carries the blood soul pill, he thought. Even if I strike her down, she would revive. Killing her won't be easy. 7 days passed. At the end of the winding revered dragon path, another vast stone platform came into view, identical to the one before. But this time, the statue at its center had a subtle difference. Upon its forehead was a half-closed third eye, sealed but faintly glowing. Yao Shishui stopped and turned back to look at Wang Lin. She didn't speak, but her meaning was clear. It was his turn. Without hesitation, Wang Lin stepped forward, leaping past her and landing upon the platform. The instant his feet touched stone, he closed his eyes. The life seal appeared upon his forehead once more, sealing his eyes completely. He began to walk slowly toward the center. This was an experiment. He wanted to test whether the golden symbol could pierce through the life seal's protection. But before any answer could come, the statue trembled. Its eyes snapped open, filled with fury, and with a thunderous roar, it lunged toward him. The life seal spread across Wang Lin's entire body, forming a glowing shield. He took several light steps back, his figure circling like a coiling dragon. The statue's massive feet slammed into the ground as it chased after him. Calmly, Wang Lin waved his hand. A flicker of green light appeared, and a restriction formed, simple, elegant, and invisible. He tossed it backward. It expanded into a wall of shimmering light, dozens of feet across. The statue crashed straight into it. The restriction shattered instantly, scattering like glass. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed. Interesting, he whispered. A body made of restrictions. He flicked his hand again, releasing countless streams of restriction light that shot toward the statue. But the creature roared and punched forward, shattering them all. A shockwave of raw power rushed toward Wang Lin, tearing through the air. With a calm motion, Wang Lin drew out his restriction flag. He waved it once, and the oncoming force was instantly swallowed whole. Over hundreds of years, he had engraved 999 sets of attack restrictions into this flag, yet divine retribution had never fallen upon him. Still, its power was beginning to wane. It's no longer enough, he thought. I'll need more. 9,999 sets. As he moved, his eyes filled with countless restriction patterns, forming and dissolving, combining and separating. Each time the statue neared, he waved the flag, releasing tides of restriction energy that became barriers of light. Again and again, the statue was stopped, its roars echoing through the ancient air. Finally, with a furious bellow, the statue stopped chasing. It stomped once, and the entire platform quaked violently. The ground erupted, countless stone spikes shot upward like bamboo shoots, surrounding Wang Lin in an instant. Prepared for such an attack, Wang Lin formed a seal and dodged upward, soaring into the air, but the spikes continued to grow, layer upon layer, until they covered nearly the entire platform, leaving only a small open space at the center. Suspended above, Wang Lin's gaze sharpened. The world seemed to change before his eyes. Through the countless layers of restrictions he had deciphered, the truth revealed itself. The statue wasn't stone at all. It was entirely composed of restrictions. Every inch of its body, every line of its surface, was built from overlapping restriction formations. As that realization struck him, the statue roared again. It stomped hard, and the spikes tore free from the ground, flying upward like a storm of spears. They rained down upon him in a deadly storm. But Wang Lin didn't flinch. In his eyes, those spikes were not weapons, they were restrictions. And restrictions were his domain. With a wave of his flag, streams of restriction gas poured out, swirling into the air like ribbons of smoke. They twisted in complex, ancient patterns, striking the incoming spikes. Each spike was instantly dissolved, its essence absorbed into the flag. The flag's power surged, glowing brighter and brighter. Seeing this, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. He dove down toward the platform, pointing his finger sharply. The restriction flag unleashed a torrent of power, a whirlwind of luminous symbols that surrounded the statue completely. Before he even landed, his body dissolved into a mist of green smoke, circling the trapped statue. As he moved, his fingers traced more restrictions, adding layer upon layer into the whirlwind. From afar, it looked as though the statue had been caught in a storm of golden light. No matter how it struggled or roared, the restrictions spun tighter, hammering against its body, sinking into its cracks. Then Wang Lin stopped abruptly, his voice echoing across the platform. Break, 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 break. Each shout struck like thunder. The swirling restrictions all surged inward at once. The statue convulsed violently, its body shrinking and twisting. Chunks of stone peeled away, dissolving into pure restriction energy. Sensing danger, the statue's third eye snapped open. A brilliant golden light burst forth, sweeping across the platform. The wave of energy shattered the surrounding restrictions and pushed them back. But in that golden flash, Wang Lin saw it, a golden symbol shining within the statue's third eye. This one was made of 2 strokes. His eyes burned with focus. Seal. He spat a mouthful of essence blood, merging it with the restrictions. The blood turned the swirling energy crimson, and it surged forward, colliding head-on with the golden light. After 2 breaths of time, the light faded. The restrictions swarmed once again, consuming the statue completely. The creature's roar weakened, its eyes dimmed, and then, it crumbled into dust. From its shattered remains, countless strands of black restriction gas erupted outward, spreading across the platform like mist. And within that darkness, a faint golden symbol shimmered, the same 2-stroke mark, now drifting away, ready to vanish into the void. But Wang Lin's instincts moved before thought. He lifted his right hand, his index finger tracing through the air. 1 stroke, the same symbol he had seen within the first statue. Then a second stroke, forming the symbol that had just appeared. The golden mark in the air froze, then reversed direction, rushing back like lightning. It fused perfectly with the symbol he had drawn. A faint smile touched Wang Lin's lips. His finger moved again, a third stroke. The moment it completed, the merged symbol transformed into the 3-stroke golden symbol, the same that gleamed in Yao Shishui's eyes. In this episode, Wang Lin continues his journey along the revered dragon path and faces the second guardian statue. Through his battle, the story reveals an important part of his strength, his deep mastery of restrictions. The ancient arts of sealing and control. Unlike before, Wang Lin doesn't rely on brute force. Instead, he analyzes the statue's structure and realizes that it isn't made of stone at all, but entirely formed from countless restriction layers. By using his restriction flag and his own insight, he breaks it down piece by piece, turning its power into his own. The most critical moment comes when the statue's third eye opens and releases a golden symbol with 2 strokes. Wang Lin connects this new mark with the one he saw earlier. And through his understanding, he recreates and fuses the symbols together, 1 stroke, then 2, and finally 3. This fusion gives birth to the 3-stroke golden symbol, the same mysterious mark found in Yao Shishui's eyes. It's a sign that Wang Lin is uncovering the secret meaning behind these golden symbols. Step by step, they seem to represent not only divine power, but also a deeper truth about the world he's walking through, the connection between life, restriction, and celestial laws. By the end of the episode, Wang Lin has not only defeated the Guardian statue, but also taken one more step toward unlocking the mystery of the golden marks and the true nature of the revered dragon path.